done. Clean it off. There we go. Nice and neat. Okay, now we're going to put the elastic on the shoelace that we use as the waist strap, the belt. Fold the shoelace in half. And we'll mark the center. And I want to mark 6 inches on either side of that center. So there we are there. Going to stitch a piece of elastic there. So we'll start right on that end where that mark is. And in order for the elastic to stay on, we've got to back tack. I want to really get that nice and secure, a few times maybe. All right, now once you get that in place, then you start stretching this. You stretch it as much as you can and start to stitch. Keep it stretched. My thread. So when I start this up again, I'm just going to put a little extra stitch, a little back tacking right where I lost my thread, so that I make sure that that part right there is going to stay strong. And I'm going to start stretching again. And there's my other mark. So I'm just going to go down to there. All right, when I see that chalk line, then I will start to back tack a few times. Okay, there we go. Get rid of all these threads. Can just turn it around and around, twist it. I'm going to cut the elastic off at the other end. There we go. A little bit of elastic on the belt. Here's the fabric. We're going to lay it on here. We want to get it straight so that it's parallel to the edge of the fabric, so that it's a nice straight grain. And then we're going to use tailor's chalk to mark around it. And as we mark it, we're going to mark these little notches here. See, we're going to go all the way around the whole thing. And you have to keep the pattern right where it's supposed to be, right in the same spot the whole time, so that all your notches will be exactly where they need to be when you cut them. And you'll see later that those notches make it possible to sew this drawstring bag and get it all to line up beautifully. So then we're going to cut it. Well, there's my notch, and I'm just going to cut in no more than 1/4 of an inch, just a tiny little bit. I don't know if you can see that. We don't want you to cut, you know, like this. You want it just to be tiny, tiny, just a little bit, just enough so that the sewer can follow that notch. And then everything else gets cut out very carefully, right on the line. The more exact it is, the easier it is to put this thing together and to get a really nice looking bag. We need all 4 of those notches. This notch in. If you keep your scissors on the table instead of up in the air, you'll get a much more exact cut. So this side I haven't put the notches in yet, but I'm going to. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So that when I go to sew this, see my notch here and my notch there? They're perfect. They're exactly where they should be. So when I go to sew it, I know right where I'm going to start stitching. So that's the drawstring bag.